Hello and welcome along everybody to the FNL1 eSports Russian Grand Prix from the Sochi Autodrom here in Russia, and it is round number 10 of the FNL1 eSports Championship. Hawks is out on top at the moment. Zen Razo is a distant memory for Hawks, but can Zen get the points tonight and pull him back in and close down the championship and maybe steal it away as we get towards the end of this championship here, round 10. We're about halfway through the season. Anything is possible, and it's going to be the Russian Grand Prix. Weather, well, it's looking a little bit overcast at the moment, but race conditions will be a surprise for us come a little bit later on. And don't forget as well, if you are new or old as well, a veteran watcher, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks again to all those who do each and every single week. Your support means the world. Obviously, I don't get paid for this, and I know a lot of you enjoy some of the best racing out there. So every little bit you can do to helps and goes a long way. I do appreciate it. Anyway, we are about 7 minutes away, 5 minutes away from, even less than that, 4.5 minutes, my bad, from joining the FNL1 crew from qualifying 2. So we will have Q2 and Q3 to go through before starting the race itself. 50% race distance at Sochi. So far, you're not quite ready yet. You do have a little bit of time before the race itself kicks off. But we will go straight into qualifying 2 in about just over 4 minutes time. We'll see you soon. Hello, Jordan, on FNL1. Up the Alphas. We'll see what they can do tonight. I think Bots is the only Alpha actually in the lineup. So not many points for Alpha, so Bots is going to need to perform. Don't forget as well, we have a Twitter account for Demo1 Garage at Demo1G. It's a good place to get notifications of upcoming races before they happen. I haven't used it a lot for anything other than that, but it's always an opportunity for me to get into contact real quickly with those out there for anything that happens through the stream. So if you do have Twitter, Twitter's a good place to get information about the things on the channel currently happening live or upcoming at Demo1G. And you can also use our handle at Demo1G or our hashtag D1G, and it will appear on screen for all to see during the race if you'd like to get involved that way as well. And as always, we are live on Twitch, Facebook and YouTube. Both YouTube and Twitch are in 1080p. Facebook 720p, only because they limit it to that resolution. Otherwise, we'd be 1080p across the board. But you do have the choice there. So don't forget, we've got all three: Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Well, the checkered flag has fallen in Q1, and Zenrazo's led that session. Hawks and Bots and Kiwi, I think, had an accident. They should get through. I think Azatak, Major Dan, and Breeding also had accidents, but they'll get through. And we're going to see 5 drop as we start Q2 in just a moment's time. Thank you, Eli Haddad. Thank you for liking the stream. Be like Eli Haddad and like this stream too. All your support, likes, the shares, the subs, it all means a huge amount to me and the channel itself. It helps us out a lot. So thank you very much for taking the time to do that, Eli. All right, Q2 is about to get underway. We will jump to it as soon as it loads up. But welcome along to what should be quite an entertaining Formula 1 race tonight here in Sochi. Will Zenrazo take it over Hawks? Hawks has been the up-and-coming favourite. He's the comeback king at the moment. He had an absolutely blinding race in the F2 last night in the feature race. Not so much the sprint race. That was absolute carnage, and it was edge of your seat stuff right to the end. So if you haven't already seen the Formula 2 race from last night, it's on our channels right now. You can watch it as soon as we're done. All right. Let's get into the points system before we get into it. As you can see, Renault's on top with 218, but Mercedes aren't too far behind. But Yago has been dropping the ball for them, not scoring points in the last 4 races. And that'll be why Renault is now starting to pull a lead there in the Constructors' Championship. Toro Rosso 188, Alfa Romeo. I think they've only got one scoring driver tonight. That would be Bots. But 126 in the championship to 86 at Ferrari. Red Bull are there on 67. And it's Racing Point and Haas who share 11 points apiece. That has changed slightly over the weeks. Williams and McLaren only separated by a point, 9 and 8 respectively. So very close in the Constructors, and it's all to play for still here in the championship. If we go to the drivers, you can see there's all your results from round number 1 in Canada, which started on June 14th. We go all the way to February 26th in 2020. We will end the series in Bahrain, and from there we will follow the actual F1 calendar week to week, so it'll be a lot easier to follow as well. A lot of action for you. But you can see Hawks is on top with 184 points. He's 52 points clear of Zen. But Zen, if he can keep it out of the wall, keep it clean, he should be able to score one back. But Hawks is definitely the quick favourite here. BP's also storming his way forward, 124. He's not been beaten by much, and he's absolutely improving out of sight this season. And he's going to be one to watch come towards the end and come into the next season as well. So keep an eye, close eye on BP. He's a quick driver. Bots has got 4th. Mike there in 5th. He's boosted his driver points there in the last couple of weeks, where he's gotten a few podium positions, as you can see. A 3rd in Belgium and a 3rd in Italy. Singapore 7th for him there, but that has helped his points. Yago, there's the... Well, he's had 3 in a row he hasn't finished, and that's really hurt the points for him, dropping him to 6th. Epic's in 7th, Aussie in 8th. Little Black there in 9th. Top 10, Crazy Kiwi finishes that one. Now, we do have a lot of drivers that have dropped and some that have joined midway through. So you can see there's 25 overall. But the important ones to keep an eye on are Mingman, Angry Old Fella, GT Race Fan, Mediment, CME Racing, who's done really well and is learning a lot. He's in 17th. Breedin in 19th. Bushchook in 20th. And then the 23rd, 24th and 25th of Azure Attack, Banana Hammock and Air Marshal And yeah, that rounds out your standings currently and your results from the last few rounds. And don't forget, fastest lap also gets an extra point. So they're down the bottom of your screen. But anyway, let's get into qualifying 2 and let's see what's happening out on track as the drivers get ready. And if you are new here, my name's Josh. This is Demo and Garage. Welcome to the FNL1 eSports Round 10 from Sochi, Russia. And I'm your commentator for this evening. This should be a lot of fun. Let's have a look. Fitted tyres at the moment. Remember, the quickest lap they do here in Q2 and the tyres they use will be the ones they take through to the starting grid. As long as they make it through Q2, of course, into Q3. Those that drop, well, they get to choose any tyre they want. So strategy, a big key part here. As we watch, Hawks is disconnected. Hopefully we're not having those issues don't continue on tonight, because Hawks will want to try and do a good one and get some good points. Rusty Clark's liked the stream. Thank you, Rusty, for the support. And if you want to be like Rusty Clark and Eli Hadid, who have already liked the stream tonight, don't forget you can click that like button yourself and support the channel. Now there's Aussie in 6th place. I think he's just started a lap. Hawks got done for parking in an unsafe position. That was very weird. Welcome Max Verstappen and welcome Swatter. It's good to have you guys back. Hawks is back, but being DQ'd, he's not going to be able to put a time in. So that's really wrecked his evening. Quick smart. So I think Hawks is done because of that. That was a bit of a glitch. Metaman's done a 134.7 here on the mediums. Let's see what Aussie can put together. 10.5 minutes left in the session. Now this is a very critical part of the track here as we end Sector 2 and into Sector 3. Lots of 90-degree turns. There's the first one. Here's the second one. Third. On board with Aussie. He's running 8th. He's on the soft tyre. There's the 5th. 90-degree right. And another one to end the lap. And the start-finish line is right there in front of him. It's first for him at the moment, a 134.051. And Aussie will be hoping to eke out a little bit more time come the session as it ages slightly. Track evolution, a huge part of the lap here in Russia. Here's Mike, who's had a few good results on the board. He's finished on the podium twice in the last 3 races. Let's see what he can do in this qualifying 2 session. He's taken to the harder compound medium, which I believe is the C4 compound for Russia. Bushchuk's gone second there with a 134.3. Now Mike did really well in the F2s as well last night. Wasn't as quick as BP, but he definitely had control in the Formula 2 category. Can he emulate that success and put it to good use tonight here in the Formula 1? A yellow for Sector 3. It's gone green again, so it's not going to hinder Mike at all as he passes the pit lane entrance into the last corner, up to the start-finish line, and it's 5th fastest for him now on the mediums. Seame's gone 6th, and Mingman is in the other Red Bull there. He's currently a 136.3. I think he's on another quick lap here, actually. Because look at his ERS settings there in the bottom right. He's still got everything turned up to maximum. So I think he's actually going for another lap here. He's done a 136.3. He's going on for a double run here on the medium tyres. Let's see what he can do. A little bit wide out of that one. That's going to lose him some time. And I don't think he's improved. BP's coming back in, or leaving the pits rather, to do his outlap. Kiwi, Bots, and Zen. Zen will be one to keep an eye on here. He can take full advantage of Hawks being DQ'd early on and get himself maybe an easy podium out of this one. Let's see. But BP is going to be one to look out for here as well. So installation lap there for Zen Razo as he returns to the pit lane. And the traffic quietens down for this short lull in racing. Bushchuk returns. Mike is already back out on track to try and get a quicker time. Looks like he's chosen to do the mediums once again. See me on the soft compound in the Haas. Here we go. On board. We see me. It is a long run down to turn 1. And this is why Charles Leclerc was overtaken before the turn in here off the starting line in the Grand Prix last week. Because of that toe, there was so much room. Plus Vettel got such a good start. Well, there was not much he could do to defend it. CME here. Cruising along the track. Here in Russia around the old Olympic site. And CME trying to make the most of the quiet track out here, trying to get the quickest time possible. He's currently running 6th quickest. And he'll be pretty happy with those results as he dials in his racing skills here in the Formula 1 season. When he's really picking up pace, quick, smart. DRS open up to this long run, down to 13 and 14, a heavy braking zone. Easy to get wrong if you're late. Oh, he got that almost beautifully, see me. Early turn in as well. He got a lot of curb there as he rotated the car to the right. Coming back through this tight, twisty sector 3. He's got to beat a 1:35.698 currently, which is 6th fastest at the moment. And will he beat it? He will. He goes up to 5th with a 1:35.054. He took quite a chunk of time out then, but it wasn't enough to go any further up. So BP, Kiwi, Bots, and Zen are all on an outlap here. We're about to see these guys put in some quick times, I'd imagine. So let's see what Zen and BP can put out. They're going to be the big two to watch. Hello, Major Dan. Welcome along, bro. Do you usually race the F1s, Major, or you always F2s? You guys have all started to come across. I'm starting to forget who does what now. Oh, Brian Pierce, bring on the wet from FNL1 eSports. Sorry, I can see the chat from FNL1 eSports Facebook, but it doesn't come up on screen. So if I'm a little bit delayed to you guys, my bad. But Brian saying watch the F2s afterwards was nuts. Yeah, it was. It was a great... I especially enjoyed the second race last night. They really put on a good show. And let's see what BP can do here. On board with him. Oh, you didn't make it out of Q1, right. Well, that explains things then. I didn't realise there was enough people to have people knocked out in Q1. Alrighty, well, BP's finalising the lap here. Looks like he's put in a decent one. And it's first quickest. It's the fastest lap from BP. Commentators say stupid things sometimes, me included. A 1:34.037, and that's pushed Aussie down to second. Let's see what Zen can do. Yes, Swatter, I saw that you saw that F2 race, man. It was carnage. There's no other word for it, but it was also a really good finish. But that was which ended in carnage. But great entertainment all round, absolutely. Zen Razo currently 11th, yet to put a time on the board. And he's in the 3rd sector here. And let's see how close he can match BP's time in the Toro Rosso. Aussie's done a really good time as well, 1:34.051. That was early on as well. 3rd quickest for Zen, alrighty. And BP was on the medium tyres, so BP has some incredible pace that these other drivers cannot match right now. There's a wing on the road there. And Zenrazo's just driven straight over it. Patrick Lawsier has liked the stream. Welcome along, Patrick. And thank you very much for your support tonight, buddy. We have lost bots. Did bots crash out? Was that an alpha wing I was looking at? Metaman winds it up and starts his lap here as we've got 2 minutes left in Q2. Can we see bots somewhere? Car exiting. That is Big Man. We'll get out of the way for Meadow now. Oh, very, very aggressive there on the gear changes. Sticking it tight to the inside of 2. Out of 3. Runs slightly wide. Medeman here trying to get every inch and every second possible out of the track. Crazy Kiwi's out as Crazy Kiwi had an accident. So we've lost 3 cars in Q2. So bots won't be able to improve on the time and get some track evolution. Angry's out there as well. He's currently 7th fastest on the softs. CME's been pushed down to 8th as the session has rolled forward. Mike's there in 9th, winding it up. Mingman's on an outlap. And Zenrazo, I think he's winding it back in as well. Let's see what Meadow can do here in the McLaren. He's running 6th right now, 134.7. Into the 3rd sector he is currently. And he's going to look to improve his timing. We don't know if he's done any green or purple sectors. The game doesn't show us that information, unfortunately. But we're about to find out after one more turn of the wheel. Revolution, it wasn't any quicker. He stays 6th for now. CME stays 8th. I think these are out laps for Mike. Mingman on the push as well. Coming out of through turn 2 as we will see Q2 tick down to 0 seconds. And checkered flag for the top 4 there. The rest still have a chance to improve. Mingman is one of those. He's got a 135.9. He's in currently looking to be DQ'd. Not DQ'd, rather. Being kicked out of Q2 if you can't improve the time. But Kiwi, who's not in the session right now, is not here to defend himself. And Mingman, if he can put a lap together here, he might be able to just squeeze in and find himself in Q3. It's going to be a very close one. Mingman will set his sights on that one. You can see Medeman still flying in behind, using the toe of Ming to his advantage here. I wonder if that's going to help help Meadowman at all and improve from 6th. He doesn't look likely he's going to lose the position there. Runs wide out of that one. That was close. Mingman in the penultimate corner now, into the final turn. Sees the checkered flag flying. It's 5th fastest. Medeman doesn't improve, stays 7th. CME comes around. He sees the checkered flag. Oh, he almost lost it. That was crazy stuff. But he stayed 9th. Stayed 9th. Great end to Q2. We're going to Q3 coming up. Let's have a listen to the drivers, if they are there. So it was BP who topped the session on the medium tyre as well. So very impressive. He'll start the race on the medium. And that's going to give him an alternate strategy to the other guys behind. The only other one that will start on the medium will be bots. Everyone else, well, looks like they'll be starting on the softs. That make it through to Q3, that is. If you're unsure of the rules, the quickest time in the tyre you use to do that in Q2, if you make it into Q3, is the tyre you will start the race on. For everyone else, they get to choose. Hawks is saying the game glitched, had no sound, went to leave and came back, car stopped on track and all got me, AI got you DQ'd. Yeah, that sucks. I've had that glitch myself, actually. A bit frustrating when it happens. Alrighty. Time is ticking down. Cars are leaving. Would you believe it, Hawks? Just as I've read that comment about losing sound, I have lost sound on the game as well. It's not that my sound's not working. You heard all that happen just then. But can't hear the game sound. Absolutely incredible stuff, Codemasters. So, how do I fix this? I'm guessing we have to leave the lobby here. Literally, this is what happened. This is why Hawks was DQ'd, because he left because of this exact sound glitch. The only way to fix it is to close the app. All right, well, we've got to back out, guys. So enjoy this ride with me as we back out of F1 2019 and we work on loading it back up. We should be able to load back into the session. Apologies for this. No, I don't want to lose my copyright strike for that music. No Formula One music. Don't do it. Otherwise, I'll have to pay them money. Stop it! Apparently doesn't exist. Alright, ready for music again? Alright, I can't join. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. If you're watching, Hawks, can you get me an invite back in? Would appreciate it. So sorry, guys. Tried to fix the sound glitch, and now I've wrecked the stream. But we wanted sound, so hopefully we get back in before the end of it. If anyone's watching that's in the lobby, just give me an invite. It should let me get back in. For some reason, I can't join. You would think in this day and age there'd be a way to get back into the game off your friends or something. Apparently not. What is your favourite looking car in the 2019 season while we're waiting? At least in the game itself. The Red Bull doesn't look that crash hot, does it? Compared to the... I really like the red of the Ferrari, I must say. Rich energy still on this ass. So this is an old car. The black and gold sort of works. McLaren. Force India. Well, not Force India anymore. Racing Point. The Alfa Romeo. Simple, but sexy. The Toro Rosso. And the Williams, which doesn't really get a lot of airtime. You can see their floors are a little bit different there. If you look down on the edges. They've all got different vanes, setups. It's interesting how they all come to a different conclusion. but doing the same sort of job, I'd imagine. Very, very interesting. But I think the Ferrari, for some reason, in that red looks the best on grid. All right, well, I'm waiting for an invite, guys. Sorry about that. There's not much I can do, though. But we will get back in before the race. They will realise what they're doing while they're out there qualifying. So we won't miss the race. Don't fret too much about that. There we go. Well, Major Dan's going to add us as a friend. And give us an invite, I'd say. Yes, Swatter reckons the same thing, with the Ferrari being the sexy looking one. I'd agree. I agree. I think it just the way the red pops. It just looks the best. I don't know what I like. I like Red Bull, but I don't know what it is about their paint job that just sort of looks a bit flat. I don't know. It's just something my brain tells me. And what's also interesting is the nose designs of the cars, how they've all come to the same sort of conclusion. Very similar anyway. They don't really stray too much from their main design concept. Oh, won't let Major Dan send me an invite. Oh, well. Well, I don't know who's running the lobby, but hopefully they can send me another one. There we go. All right, so we're not going to miss the race. I knew we wouldn't. But let's find out who's qualified first. Because unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. Let's get into it and have a look. So thanks for sticking around, guys. That's unfortunately just something we had to bear with because we lost sound. So it was either watch it without sound or just attempt it and see if we can get back in. But it didn't let us do that. I really wish they would fix that about this game anyway, because it ruins the spectating for us. And then I've got to try fill 10 minutes of nothing. All right, we've come to the end of Q3, and let's have a look at how everything stands. It is BP on top with a 132.748. Metaman, then Zen, Mingman, Chook, and CME. So Mike, Bots, Aussie, and Angry still yet to put a time down. Let's see what Mike can do. So it looks like he's about to finish a flying lap here. He's currently 7th. He goes 4th. He pushes the likes of Ming, Bush, and CME down. And 4th quickest for Mike right now, 133. He's just outside the podium positions. He's starting on the front 2 rows. Well, he will in 4th. He's just outside that elusive top 3. Aussie's on an outlap. Bots is pitting. And Angry's on an outlap as well. Welcome along, Razor Burner. What's cracking, my friend? Good to have you along with us for this race. And thanks to everyone that returns and watches as many races as possible. And thanks for letting me know you guys enjoy what you're watching. And of course, a big shout out to FNL1 eSports for having me along. Oh, Angry almost didn't make that turn. Very wide there on the right-hander. Car was just swinging out wide. He's just got it turned in time. He's about to cross the line. Wasn't a quick enough time for him there. That must have been his outlap. He's on an outlap too, so is Bots. Razor Burner. Well, I have heard the name Razor Burner. Because I'm in your Discord, Razor. But who was it? Hang on, I'll get it. I'll get it, Razor. I will figure it out. Well, you called yourself old mate Dougie on Discord. All right, I've totally forgotten what your original name was. Razor. Angry old fella. That was close, Swatter. Absolutely. That was paper thin close. Angry hasn't got a time down yet. Let's see what he can put in. Ah, you were Miko. Right. I do remember you, Razor. Everyone always... Excuse me there. Everyone always changes their names on me, so it's really hard to keep up with everyone. Angry old fella about to go across the line. Still no time, so he must have been deleted running wide or something. So Angry's really running out of time here. There's only 40 seconds left in the session. Aussie's about to put a time down. Where's Bots on track? He's coming through turn 2. Aussie, though, needs to put a time in. Well, he doesn't need to, but he's going to want to put a decent one in and find himself as high as he can up the grid. 23 seconds left. Aussie's got 2 corners left. He can get another lap in if he wants to. Let's see what kind of time he puts down and see if he does attempt a second lap. It's 5th fastest for Aussie, just behind his teammate Mingman, who's also out on lap. Zen Razo's improving his time. He's also out doing a lap. Meneman's coming in, and there's the checkered flag. PP's trying to improve and using track evolution here to get above the 132s, which is already put down. Looks like Angry is still going. Watts is coming in for one. CME as well. Bushchook. He's about to come around the corner. He can't improve. He takes the checkered flag. Zen Razo in the 3rd sector now. BP's taking the checkered flag, and he did improve with a 132.16. Let's see what Zen can do. He's currently provisionally 3rd. Can he improve on that? He's dropped to 4th. As Bots has put in a time, but he steals it off him and gets 2nd. Bots got 3rd there. Meneman takes the checkered as well with 4th. Mingman is not completing that one. I don't think Aussie is either. Mike has taken the checkered at 7th. Bushchook 8th. Angry 9th. CME. Let's see what he can do. He's currently 10th. He goes up to 9th and finds himself still inside the top 10. Q3's all but over now. And we're just waiting on the 2 Red Bulls to return. But it will be BP and Zen Razo sharing the front row. And the drag race to turn 1 will commence after the formation lap gets underway in just a moment. Let's get an update on the overall points in the championship. You can see Hawks is there leading it, 184. Zen on 132. BP 124, so it's no surprise that we see these guys so far high up on the grid qualifying. Yayo not here tonight, 62 points, he's 6th overall. Epic not here either, 52. Aussie's 41, so Aussie could find himself outside of 8th and moving up to either 7th or 6th if he can get some good points here today. There's confirmation of your times and your positions for qualifying 3. Angry did eventually get a time in, a 135.2. But wasn't enough to get him off the bottom there. Yeah, I've seen you doing a bit of GTA stuff, Razor Burner, which a lot of people do. So that's cool. Into some Formula 1 leagues. There's a lot out there. Biggest thing is, though, you've got to have the time to do it and the commitment as well. Which is why it's so good to get so many guys still here every single week in race in and race out, and some of them even turn up to every Formula 2 race we have on Thursday nights. So the commitment is definitely here by these drivers. Plus they get to see themselves on stream afterwards, so That must be an all right present. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, isn't it, Razor? Trying to find a league that works within your schedule. That's I can understand that definitely being the hardest thing. Well, I don't think it's going to be raining tonight. Mario Mendoza, thank you, dude. Thank you for the like. Appreciate it during the stream. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be raining. Looks like it's going to be a bright, sunny day here in Russia. Now, hopefully we get an exciting race. Russia's doesn't always put on a good show, but being in the FNL1 eSports Championship, I don't think that really matters what track it is, because I'd imagine there's still going to be crazy passes and a lot of track battles happening, rivalries as well, bragging rights on the line. This is the formation lap. Cars now just warming them their tyres up, getting them into operating temperature. And it's important here to do all that work. Because if you can get them into the right range, you will have a massive advantage come the lights going out here in Russia. It's about 835 meters, I think, for pole position to the first turn. So just shy of a kilometer, but it's a long, long way down to that first turn. And as we saw last week in the Russian Grand Prix in the real Formula One, it meant Sebastian Vettel from third place was in first because he had a great toe plus a great start. And all that culminated into him leading the race before the end of turn one. Swada says something's up with bots. Yeah, bots. I saw that. Looks like he's come to. He's back into position. Or at least it looks like that. There's the two Red Bulls coming through. Mike tonight in 7th. Bushchook doing well. So did CME. Those two in the top 10. And Angry in the other Ferrari. Alrighty. The grid is now forming. We are just moments away from a race start here. So I said there was only one Alpha. We've got both Major Dan and Bots scoring points Alpha tonight. So we've got 15 drivers starting. And here they are, lining up on their grid positions. The haze rising. Waiting for the lights. There they are. 3, 4, 5 red. Lights are out and we're racing here in Russia, and Angry Old Fella got an absolutely rocket start and he's already pushing his way forward. Zenrazo is leading this race as BP's been overtaken very, very early on. He's cut across back into the left-hand side to defend, back into the right to open up the corner. Squeezing going on here as Ming Meng gets spun around and he's been avoided by the cars taking action there. Defensive driving from everyone, but he's dropping very, very quickly down the field. Zenrazo still leading. I think Major Dan had an issue through there. Bots Mediment. And there is Angry Old Fella Mike getting through. So is Kiwi, Aussie, Breedin, CME and Hawks. Everyone nice and cleanly through turn 2. There's a virtual safety car. I didn't even realise that. That's why they were moving so slow. Now the VSC is out. Was that for that incident we saw early on? Whoa, Major Dan, what's happening there, bro? Major Dan having some major issues. He's got a puncture rear left. He's got a puncture and you can see the car is just coming up to pieces as he drives at a slow speed. He needs to get that one back to the pit lane. And Whether or not he will be able to make it is going to be a different story, but that's unfortunate for Major Dan. And I was just saying how there's two alphas here to score points. The restart happens and Zen Razo, well, I think he got a nice little jump on BP, but BP was able to keep in close range and not let him get too far away. Bots, though, who's had a decent start here, has Metaman for company in behind. Bushchook is up to 5th. Angry there in 6th, so CME still in 9th. Great little start here from the front of the pack here. Look at how much they've jumped. Kiwi, who that was 6th. So big gap between 5th and 6th at the moment as everything comes together. Down the front straight, Bots in 3rd. Meneman trying to make a move, and he's closing him in. Let's have a look at tyres. There we go. We can see the leader, Zen Razo, use those soft tyres early on to get the lead. Meneman under the pump. Bushchook in behind. Thank you, Lorenzo Destro, for following us. Appreciate the new follow there. Don't forget you could do that as well if you haven't already. But here we have a 27-lap race, 50% race distance here in Russia, and it's Zen still leading. Bots in 3rd, just over Medeman. DRS should be turned on next lap, coming into the 3rd lap. So keep an eye out on that, so they're not having to deal with that currently, but that will make a massive difference once that is turned on in just a lap's time. So, the rest of the field now sorting themselves out. Mingman does have Az-Attack on him, and Az-Attack looks like he's going to attack. Was the slipstream enough for him up to turn 13? Mingman hugging the outside wall. Opens up turn 13 here. Heavy braking zone. Ming just keeps it in the center there. Az-Attack using a lot of speed through the apex. Ming on the power a little bit quicker though, and gets the advantage on the pull away. Here's the rest of the field. CME's down to 14th. So CME's had to pit early. DRS is on. Major Dan did make it, and he'll get that puncture fixed. Zen is well out of DRS range of BP, and here we sighing a bit of relief from that, because BP is quick. Medeman though. Look at this. It's Bushchook and Medeman. These two on-track battle forming here on lap number 3. And they've got Bots also lined up in the crosshairs, ready to pounce at a moment's notice. Medeman keeping it clean through there. Some of the cars running a little bit wide. They're going to have to be careful. They will accrue penalties and time penalties as well if they continue to abuse the track limits like that. The stewarding is on strict, of course. And none of this having to do what they do in real life if you miss the corner. BS that happened in the Formula 1 eSports thing on just the other day, actually. So a few contentious stewarding calls, I think, by some. So here we go. We've got Medeman chasing down Bots, but Bots is just able to keep him at bay. But DRS now being activated is going to be... It's going to be at the prey of this McLaren, driven by Meadow. And Meadow will want to get a good finish here. Yeah, so he's within DRS here. Let's watch him activate it. Bots got a really good run out of there though, didn't he? DRS here for Medeman. It will close the gap, but Bots used all available ERS, I'd imagine, there to pull away, and that worked real effectively. And Medeman had to work even harder to catch up. Great stuff. Aussie, he's in a Renault sandwich. Let's see what Aussie can do here. And Hawks is finding his way forward. Oh, Kiwi, he's run wide. He's come back on the track. I thought he almost run Aussie off his racing line, but it looked a little bit worse than what I think it was. Aussie will know Hawks is quick. So whether or not he's going to defend Hawks here too much, we're about to find out. I don't think he will make it easy. But Hawks is quick, and that is why Hawks is leading the championship. Even though he got disqualified in qualifying. Don't count him out of this one at all. Here he is side by side with Aussie. Aussie has been dropped to 8th, and Hawks has got the position before the 13 and the braking zone. Beautiful stuff there from Hawks. And Aussie now has a bit of work ahead of him. Hawks, though, will be working on reeling in his teammate Crazy Kiwi and getting the overtake and getting some distance between him and the cars behind. He's going to play it safe into the last final 2 corners. He knows he'll have DRS down the front straight. And there it is. There's DRS activated. You heard the beep. Kiwi gives him the room. Now, will Kiwi be able to defend Aussie? Because Aussie had DRS as well. Not so much. Kiwi doing his part there as the team. Ooh, now Hawks has really pulled in Bushchook here. And there it is up the inside. Bushchook had no reply. So I think Bushchook's been dropped from the session, unfortunately. So that's why it was a lot easier there for Hawks to get the overtake. It's just one of those things. Well, Bushchook's rejoined, so Bushchook will be able to fight back for that one. It's a shame he got disconnected because he was up there scoring a lot of points. He was in 5th position. And I imagine if he was in the driver's seat, then he would have been able to defend for Hawks there for a little bit longer and make his life a little bit more difficult than what it was. Now Mingman has Attack in the primed position. Fire control is ready. And now actually keep a close eye on the clouds overhead, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't look promising to keep sunny the whole race, so we could get a wet end to this race here, so keep an eye on that. I've just noticed the clouds are starting to come over and the Russian skyline is turning greyer and greyer as this race goes forward. We're only on lap 6 of 27. I know what you mean, Razor Burner. I know exactly what you mean about connection issues. And a lot of the time I think it has to do with the game itself, not their internet connection or anything. So I put a lot of... And as I was just foreshadowing the rain, I can see droplets falling from the sky. We're about to get a wet race. How long can they stay out there on the dry tyres, though, before we see the track getting too wet? There's no shine yet. It's not falling quick enough. But there's certainly enough time left in this race that rain will affect it, and we will see the wet tyres, or at least the intermediates. Oh, what happened there to Attack? Did he cut the inside too finely? He didn't. Has he suffered a puncture or anything? We saw some carbon go flying there, and that's going to upset his car a little. And he's going to need all the downforce he can get here in the wet. He's actually still pulling in Mingman, though. So Mingman suffering a little bit as this track moistens up. CME's gone to the intermediates already. So there you go. He's got the green stripes on very early. So is it actually wet enough, though? Let's see what the leaders do. Zen doesn't think so. Oh, yes, Razor, and yes, Swatter. You're absolutely correct. How to make it a Formula 1 race more interesting. Just add water. I love it. That's why we need mandatory sprinklers at every track that we can just turn on whenever we aren't having enough fun with it. Medeman's run wide there at 1. Bots makes the turn. Things are looking dicey here. Both Aussie and Kiwi follow each other through 1. So things are really starting to get a little slippery out there. Kiwi trying to go around the outside, but he's run wide at 3. He's got to be careful he doesn't continue that one. Oh, Kiwi got around him there. Oh, Kiwi's run wide again. So it is really starting to get wet out there. As we can see, Mike, Angry, and CME are all on the intermediates. Maybe CME went in the intermediates at the right time. I don't know if it was a lap too early, but it's worked for him. This is the leaders here. Oh, BP's getting caught out there at 14. We're in the final sector now, so they're going to just make it to the pits in time. So then get a time penalty for exceeding track limits, and the wet track there playing its role. Bots gets around Metaman as he's a little bit more confident in this wet track, but you can see they're just tiptoeing around now as everything gets a bit of a wet sheen to it. DRS is disabled, and our leaders are pitting for wets. There is Zen. He's gone to the intermediates. Let's see what BP takes. We'd imagine the same tyres. Teams running out to support their drivers. There goes Zen. BP's been held a long time. A very long time for BP. He might have had a penalty to serve there. So Bots is going to catch up. He's going to close the gap on him. The rest of the field filtering through the pit lane. New front wing there for Crazy Kiwi. Oh, crazy stuff between the Red Bulls. It's going to be a new nose for Ming as well. So very busy pit lane. Now, CME went in the intermediates early on, but I don't think he's managed to gain anything out of it, unfortunately. Senrazo's got 8 seconds over BP as he was held in the pit lane a very long time. And there's Bots as well in third place. He's just following behind BP, but BP usually has the quicker wet pace compared to everyone. But I know Zen is quite strong as well in the wet, so I think this might favour Zen here a little bit. Speeding in the pit lane for Angry. Got to be careful of that. Here's Aussies just ahead of Kiwi here. Ooh, Bushchook gets it all wrong. Almost has a meeting with the wall, but he just manages to pull it up in time. So the wet track upsetting him a little bit here. Now Breedin is still on the soft tyres. I don't know what that's about. Surely that's a mistake from Breedin. You can see the cars still getting the back rear ends out as they're sliding around. Breedin will be having an atrocious time on track. He's on the softs. That is a massive mistake because look just how wet it is. Oh, the car won't even turn for him. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. Can Breedin get around? He needs to be careful. He needs to be so careful. He's doing a really good job considering the conditions. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, there's been enough runoff. But he's lost a wing. There's going to be a new wing for him. Waiting in the pit lane, I'd say. So he's going to lose even more time when he gets in. Here is CME and Angry. There's a little battle forming here as these guys hustle around the circuit in the wet conditions. No DRS as well, but Angry. Let's see if he's got the straight line speed. Let's see if he's got the straight line speed to get CME. He doesn't. He doesn't quite have it there. He wasn't close enough to take advantage of that slipstream being offered up by CME. Where is Breedin now? He's in the third sector. Can he make it to the pit lane without further incident? I think he will. Here comes CME and Angry who are racing for this one. Oh, Angry's run very wide. That was so lucky. He didn't contact with anything then. He went for a move, but it wasn't on. It wasn't on at those speeds or at this grip level either. Now Zen, I think, lost about 3 seconds to BP in that lap. I think BP's closing him in here, so BP's still got a lot of pace. So he's really liking these conditions here. And while I said it might favour Zen, it actually might favour BP before the end of this one. Yeah, Razor, his race definitely is over. And Swatter. Epic drifting. There's some great drifting happening out on track. Hopefully we see a lot more of it as they test the limits. There comes Breedin back in behind Metaman, so Breedin's being lapped at this stage. Kiwis managed to pull a little bit of a distance on Aussie. And Bushchook is just in behind Aussie here by about a second. Well, Breedin's retired. I think Breedin's had an accident. Going to ride on board with Aussie. Let's see if we can't see Breedin's car here. There's a yellow flag in this sector. Oh, Jesus, there it is. In the middle of the track as well. That was unsighted. That was a massive surprise for those drivers as they come around. That needs to be cleared up. That's a safety car situation, that. It's amazing. We get a VSC for the tiniest thing, and that doesn't even bring out a safety car. Anyway, and we're in the wet as well. Codemasters, I don't understand your safety car. We're on board with Bushchook as he's chasing in Aussie here in the wet. And it's absolutely pouring down still. I wonder if we're going to be full wets at all soon. Oh, can Chook make it work? He can't. He had to cut the corner. He had a go. He saw that something was on. But Aussie was turning in and he was going to make contact with him at the apex. He had nothing else. No other options available to him at that moment. He's actually done it though. He had the speed. Can he pull the car up? You see the brakes glowing as they're working their heart out, converting all that energy into heat. It's done the work, and Chook is up to 7th. Great move there. Oh, he might have run wide. Oh, I thought Aussie might have gotten the pace to get around him there. Chook making the accident. All right, Aussie's coming in. I reckon that's full wet. Full wet call there from Aussie. That'll be what that's about. So let's see if that works out for him. Let's see what his teammate does, Mingman, because he's about to come around to the pit entrance as well. No, Mingman's did it. So Aussie's the only one in the pits at the moment. That leaves Chook out there by himself to catch Kiwi, who is about 3.3 seconds up the road. He is. Aussie's on the full wets. Interesting. So Hawks. He's not too far behind Bots. But is getting too wet now for the drivers to maintain the intermediate tyres. Will they need to go to the full wets? Aussie definitely thinks it's time. Let's see what the leaders have to say on that situation. We're on lap 11 of 27, and things are getting really interesting now as this race continues to stay wet. It looks like it's going to be raining to the very last lap here. Agreed, Swatter. You said that needed a safety car before. It did. I don't understand Codemasters and the way they program the safety car in this title 2019. It's so hard to activate for silly reasons. That needed a safety car. All right, these guys want to keep racing. They don't think it's full wets time yet. Hawks definitely feels he's got the confidence. He's got the slipstream on Bots here. Can he get a move on into turn 1? Bots has gone defensive for the... Oh, he's actually just let him go. All right, so Hawks up into 3rd. No contacts there from Bots. But look at this. BP is now less than 2 seconds from Zen. BP is on a flying lap here. That gap was 8 seconds just a couple of laps ago. I wonder if Zen is... I wonder if Zen's nursing some issues here. Because BP is just so much quicker. So much quicker than Zen at this point. Yeah, you can see they're actually riding on... It looked like he was riding on the wet line there for a little bit. I was going to say to cool the tyres. But it's actually still really wet, so cooling the tyres is... They wouldn't need to do that at this point. Now, are they going to go full wets? Or are they just going to continue on with this battle on track? I think they is. Zen Raza's going to continue it, and BP's going to follow through here. So BP needs good traction out of this one, and he should get an easy overtake on Zen. It's going to be very hard for Zen to defend it. Here they come. Upwards of 315 kilometers an hour in the wet as they hit the brakes hard and ask all of their cars' brakes to slow them down. And it's worked. The faith paid off. Now, right now, BP is just following behind Zen. He hasn't been able to close him in and get the overtake. So Zen is doing a good job of defending this one. As you can see, though, it is still pouring out there on track. These guys are doing a great job of keeping these laps clean. Visibility, well, it's not perfect. You can still see quite a lot. Now Hawks is able to close in BP by about a second at the moment. But he hasn't been able to pull in BP the way BP's been able to pull in Zen over the last few laps. BP's had the ultimate pace here. But now BP needs to work on making this overtake work. And Zen is doing a really good job of keeping him at bay. So yellow in sector 1. I think Mingman's had an issue. These guys are still going at it. I don't think it'll be long before Zen finds himself in second place, chasing down BP. But once again, does he get the exit he needs out of the last corner to make life difficult for BP? I think he's done it. No DRS is making it really hard for BP to work on it on the overtake. And once again, still that where we normally would have seen a move happen. No DRS. Well, it's meant Zen Razo is able to keep in front for another lap. But look at the interval between Hawks and BP. It has dropped another second. So Hawks is quick. Hawks is coming around very quick. He's definitely got the confidence in the wet, and you can see it's not too far away from those front runners. There's Bots in the Alfa Romeo. Crazy Kiwi. Bush Chook's coming in. So Bush Chook's called it on lap 14. Let's have a look. Full wets for Bush. Full wets it is. Man's continued on in the intermediates, and Azatak is there with him. Azatak, again, a car who would normally have DRS, doesn't in the wet. Does he have the pace? There's a car coming out as well. That is Bush Chook. So Bush Chook will come out in 9th, and he will separate Ming and Azatak now. And let's see who's got the advantage now. Is it the man here with the full wets, or is it the cars who are still on those intermediates in front? Azatak definitely hasn't been able to close the gap there. Bush Chook looks like he's got confidence now in the car. Ooh, bit of understeer through there. Ran wide. So he's had to let Mingman go. Again, another wide one from Bush. He needs to stop doing that. 3-second penalties will keep adding up. Yeah, I think Hawks might join that party up front. Let's check back in with it. 6.5 seconds away. It's not long. BP is 2/10 off. Zen Razo here, and he's up in the gearbox of the Mercedes driver. He saw a gap, and he thought better of it. He sees another gap here again. Can't get the move done before the turn happens. Oh, Zen's run wide. This could be the mistake BP was looking for, and I think it is. He's now side by side with him. Oh, Zen didn't give him a lot of room, but just enough. He's had to run wide at the corner, and BP remains in second. Oh, Zen gets the back end out, drifting hard. He's driving right on the edge of grip here, and he's doing everything possible to keep BP at bay. BP's just trying to keep it smooth and clean here because he knows he's put the pressure on Zen, and Zen really feeling the heat right now, and that's what's caused those mistakes and those last minute. Oh, there was someone off. There was someone off there. I think it was Azatak. There was definitely a car off there. I don't know who it was. But anyway, back to this front running. Are they going to continue on the intermediates? Do they still think it's viable on these full inters? Oh, Zen looks like he's coming in. BP's going to follow suit. Here we go. Now Hawks. What does Hawks do? Hawks is like, stuff is, I'm continuing on. All right, so we're going to have a new race leader. Can he get a quick lap in here? Will there be an overcut, so to speak, working in Russia? Hawks is our new race leader. Zen does not have a penalty. He was in and out quick smart. Oh, the team weren't ready at Toro Rosso. They weren't ready for the tyres. It was the last, it's a new nose as well for BP. So even more time waiting in the pits there. Zen is now back out on track. And he was in and out so quickly. That's given him a bit of time advantage now on BP. And that's taken the pressure off a lot. Bots has also continued on. But it's this man leading right now. Hawks. Is it too wet though? Has he run a little bit too long? Yes, Swatter. BP is just insanely fast. I didn't know he needed a new nose either, and the fact that he was catching up Zen like that is just insane. As we talk of Zen, he's run wide, trying to get the wets into the operating range. Now that the BP's got a 3-second time penalty there, got the wobbles on there a little bit. The gap 5 seconds. We're on lap 16 of 27. Now, also don't forget to vote for FNL1 eSports Driver of the Day. Go to FNL1eSports.com and fill out the Driver of the Day poll they've got there. It should be posted right now. So Hawks is in the pit lane, full wets. Oh my God, Hawks might get in front here. This is going to be really close. Here comes Zen. He's gone past Hawks. Hawks is going to come out. Hawks might jump BP. He's done it. Hawks has jumped him in the pits. Here comes BP. He'll see a Renault in front. And he won't be a lapped car. That is Hawks, who now has track position on BP. I told you to never discount Hawks. Doesn't matter where he starts. He's always finding himself up the pointy end at the end of the race. Now we've got Mike and Meadow. Oh, look at this. We've got 3 cars in touching distance. This is absolutely insane racing in the wet. Medeman's come out. Mike is there. He doesn't want to let him go. Medeman looking for room. Mike's going to squeeze him into the inside. Crazy Kiwi's backed off slightly up into the first turn. Medeman's got full wets. Mike has the intermediates. So we've got different tyres at play here. Medeman just has the lead on Mike. Crazy Kiwi as well. He's coming up the inside. He's tucked it tight up into 2. And he's now closely following behind this Toro Rosso and Mike. Great racing action here in Russia in the wet. Now Zen Razo has come to traffic. It is the slower moving bots. And he can't get around him here. And that has now let Hawks and BP close up the gap. Look at this. It is congestion here in Russia. Hawks needs to get around. Oh, they've touched. Bots gets it all loose. He can recover. but he tried to defend that a little bit aggressively, and Zen was there on site. Let's have a quick look at the replay. You can see as they arrived, it got really, really, really congested rather. And as we follow on board with Zen, he comes up, gets the overtake on Bots. Bots didn't want to do it. He got caught up in his wheels, and that's what caused the slight accident there, but he continued on. Back to the live action we go. And they've got to get around a bit of lap traffic now as the front runners are on the very wet line here at turn 2. BP goes wide up into the 3, but he's still following behind Hawks here, and Zen's been able to open up a slight gap. They're all on the full wets as well. This is getting really intense stuff here as we get to the closing stages. We're on lap 18 of 27, and it is absolutely anybody's race at this moment. Anyone up here in the top 3 can win it. And if they make a huge calamitous error, anyone behind them could win as well. So this race is definitely not over. And the wet race has been the reason for it all. It set off a chain reaction of events that has entertained us here. And Russia is putting on a show. BP, though, you would think is the favourite to be the quickest, because he was out there doing this all with a broken front wing. And he was catching these boys up like it was child's play. But Hawks has also caught up Zen here. But they're finding it very difficult to get an overtake here in the wet conditions. And with no DRS as well, it's making life even harder for the drivers to get that little bit of extra pace. He needs a good exit out of this turn here, Hawks does. He's really close to the back of Zen's gearbox. And Zen will know he's vulnerable here. Zen will know he needs to do something. He's going to need to think 3 corners ahead if he's going to keep Hawks at bay. Hawks darted right. But once again, Zen was able to keep him there. Zen defending like a world champion at this moment. There is not a lot in it now. Not a lot in it at all. Oh, back goes out from BP. Lighten the rears up. Oh, they're all running wide out of there. They're all going to get penalties for that. Metaman's up as Bots. Bots is back out. Can Kiwi get a move on Metaman here? He can't. He's nice and close though, so 4th and 5th is tightly contested as well. But we go back to the front in the top 3. Oh, Hawks, that's going to be an off-track overtake. He's going to have to readdress, and BP might get the advantage. I don't know how BP didn't have the pace to get around him there. But that was an off-track overtake, and Hawks had to give the spot back to avoid getting penalised. He's done that, and somehow he then kept BP at bay still. He still defended while readdressing. That was such a huge moment for BP. He couldn't take it. Getting around traffic once again. Things are getting chaotic here as we get to the end. I think that was Major Dan running wide. Hawks now is under the pump this lap from BP. This is where BP now needs a good exit. Or can Hawks get on the power quicker? Thank you, Georgios Volos 9, following us on Twitch. Hope you're enjoying this one, and we definitely are here in Russia as it's wet. 7 laps to go here. We're on lap 20. And Zen, well, he's 5/10 ahead, and I think that's going to be enough. That's not going to be enough of a distance. Close enough of a distance for Hawks to do anything, and it wasn't. As we come into turn 2 once again, BP's dropped off. So these guys are really struggling while they're following. Without the DRS, they just cannot get these overtakes to work at all. Just not being effective. BP once again running wide at 3. Zen, he might be able to do it. It looks like Metaman's able to get away from Kiwi there. So Kiwi's going to be having to defend from Bots here very shortly. Bots, does he see an opportunity? He doesn't quite get it at this moment. We're on board with the 6th place man. Car gets a bit of a back end slide happening. You can see the visibility now becoming really poor. Kiwi runs wide. Bots keeps it within the track limits. And he's really tight to the back end of that Renault here. Bots might have a move on soon. He looks like he's attempting one. Up the inside of Kiwi. Oh, beautiful stuff from Bots. He makes the overtake work. And that is how you do it at home, folks. Textbook move. And in the wet as well. A round of applause for Bots in the Alfa Romeo. This is his next target, Metaman, who is only 1.9 seconds up the road. Okay, so BP is coming in. Hawks and Zen, though. Look at this. Drag racing side by side. I think Hawks has just got the advantage. Zen's got the inside line, though, for turn one. That could be the difference. Oh, he just doesn't have the confidence on the brakes. And Hawks is now leading this Grand Prix from Zen Razo. BP has gone back to the intermediates here. So BP thinks that's going to be the difference. It's Bots and Metaman fighting for it. So is it the wet tyres? Are they just not the right tyre at this moment in time? Kiwi and Metaman, they're going to be side drafting each other up to turn one. Kiwi looks like he's got the pace. He's got everything turned up to the maximum. And Metaman's going to be beaten up into the first turn. They're going to turn in. Metaman in behind. Kiwi, though, has the advantage and gets it done. Metaman, at the last minute, made an error running long out of turn one. And that gave Kiwi the move. Bots there slightly offline. That looked a little bit awkward for him, but he's up into fourth. And this is BP in third. He's one of the front runners who decided to go to the intermediates. Zen Razo got a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That means BP just needs to close in 10 seconds. About 13 seconds, rather, on Zen, and he'll be net ahead in the time. And Hawks has got a 5-second time penalty as well. The wet conditions here, they haven't been able to keep it clean and within the track limits, and this could really affect their final positions. They're still going to go on the wet tyres. I think the rain is dimming down. But BP, it looks like he's losing time on Zen and Hawks right now. I think it's still a little bit too wet. Let's have a look at his time this lap. It was a 2:14 there from BP. And this is Bots. He's just got the slight advantage here on the Renault of Crazy Kiwi. And it is also... they're both on full wets as well. And as you can see, Bots just had the better run out of there. He had a bigger gap. And Kiwi won't be able to close that with any significant pace this lap. Not long to go. Here is Mike on the intermediates. He's 15 laps old. Bushchuk moves up past Metaman. Metaman's in the pits. He had to get a new nose by the looks of things. And he's sticking to the full wets as well to the end. It's surprising we haven't lost more than we have. We've only lost Breed in. There's Ming Meng in 10th. There's Azatak, CME. An angry old fella coming around the last corner now. Interestingly, Angry's did a 159 on the inters there. Major Dan looks like he's got a problem. Major Dan just getting out of the way of the faster cars by the looks of things. That was a 151 from Hawks on the full wets. A 153 from Zen on the full wets. Let's see what times BP is doing here on the intermediates. Is it significantly faster or is it about the same at this moment in time? Lap 23 now. I think it's going to be significantly faster. Oh, it's going to be actually quite the same by the sound of it. 150 there from BP. It's sort of anyone's guess what the right tyre is now. But I think it's safe to say Hawks and Zen are going to keep it out there on the full wets to the end. There's not long to go now. So Crazy Kiwi still trying to reel in Bots 225. Who's in the Alfa Romeo ahead of him. He's looking for any small advantage he can as he plots away behind. Grinding away. Mike doing a similar thing in 6th position. He might be able to close in Kiwi here before the end of this one, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. He's got significant pace here towards the end. Oh no! Bots is out! What has happened to Bots? Bots has had a huge collision, and that's ended his race. So Bots, will not score points this one. That's so unlucky. Bots was looking really competitive as well. There's where Bots is. I wonder what happened. He just didn't pull the car up or something. Absolutely insane stuff. So that moves Mike up to 5th. Kiwi up into 4th position. Again, I think Renault's going to get a good haul of points here in the Constructors. Mingman's out of this as well. Everybody. There he is. Mingman up on the inside. Oh, what is happening to the drivers now? They were on the full wets as well. The virtual safety car's been called. Alrighty. So, does that mean, will we see a change of tyres perhaps for anyone up the front? Well, Hawks has already gone past the pit lane entrance. So Zen. Okay, Zen's been giving a drive-through for speeding under the under the virtual safety car. Zen has absolutely thrown away any chance of scoring decent points today and getting a podium with that late error. So Zen now has a drive-through to serve for speeding under the virtual safety car. So a lot of the drivers now choosing to go to the intermediates. And it looks like both Kiwi and Mike had the same idea here. Aussie's coming through as well. But it's Mike and Kiwi. These guys are on for a race here towards the end. Bushhook comes out on new inters. And one last reminder for the FNL1 eSports Driver of the Day. You can do so at FNL1eSports.com and vote in the Driver of the Day poll. The results will be posted later in the week. But we've now lost 2 more drivers to the conditions. Both Bots and Mingman are out of this one. And that put out a late virtual safety car here, which meant Zen Razo was caught speeding under that virtual safety car, and he now has a drive-through penalty to serve. Crazy Kiwi looks like he's got a little bit more pace over Mike here. BP, well, he's got another 3 seconds, so we're going to have to wait till the end and wait and see, after all the penalties have been distributed, what the actual final positions are. Major Dan, he's out of this session for receiving 2-minute penalties. So that is the end of Major Dan's race. We've only got 11 left here with 2 laps to go. Crazy calls here from the stewards. Some late calls. And it's really affecting the end result of this race. Mike, look at the pace he's got. Oh, he gets pushed wide and onto the curbing. That was quite dangerous in the wet. But Mike has taken the lead comfortably over Kiwi, and he now is commanding that 4th position. Can Kiwi fight back, or is it too little too late at this moment in time? Is Mike just too quick? And we might get a podium out of this one as well. We're going to have to wait and see what the readjustments are after the penalties have been put out. So Mike might get his third podium in 4 races if he does this tonight. So he'll be very stoked with that if that's how that one turns out. I think Zen's going to serve his penalty here. So BP is up to second. Where are Mike and such? They're about a minute away. So I think Zen, if he can serve it, he should be able to maintain his third place. He's done that. So that's a very, very slow ride through the pit lane for Zen. And a late error is giving him the penalty there. So you can see Mike's in fourth. And yeah, Kiwi has not stopped fighting. So this one could go to the very end of this one, to the death of this race. Yeah, I forgot to say, Zen still has a 10-second, but he's definitely got 10 seconds over Mike. So the 10-second might not affect his podium and final place positions, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Kiwi got a little bit sideways out of the last corner, and that's going to affect his run down this long straight and affect any chance of fighting Mike for that position here on this lap. Mike got a lot better exit. And Bushchuk's made a move on Medham there. So Bushchuk moving forward with some clean overtakes. And there's the gap between Medham and Bushchuk. 1.3 seconds. Bushchuk is just that much quicker. He's just disappearing now and becoming just a blip on the horizon. This is Aussie in 6th position. He's sort of by himself with no one around him right now. To Mike and the Kiwi battle. This is the battle for 4th and 5th as it is on track. Yeah, Major Dan, didn't really work out for you at all. Getting that the disqualification at the end too must have bloody been a punch in the guts. But we are on the final lap, and BP has really closed in Hawks here. This is for the lead and the win. This is for the overall win, and Hawks has run wide. That's given BP the lead. A very, very costly error for Hawks. He was certainly going to win this race, but BP never gave up. He never said die. And at the very, very last minute, very last moment, last lap as well, he managed to put the pressure on Hawks and mount it up so much. He's run wide, and now BP's leading this race once again, and he could steal a win here on the last lap. Absolutely phenomenal driving from BP. He's definitely one to watch this season to take out the championship. And never discount Hawks as well, though. He had a great comeback. He didn't even get into the end of Q2 because of a game glitch. But I'd say in the end there, it was the pace he had on those wets that probably hurt him, because BP is just so much quicker on these intermediates. And he'll be so happy that he decided to do it when he did, because there it is. There's the win for BP as he takes the checkered flag. Hawks, ever so close, but he got a second there, and he'll be happy with that result. And Zen, I think he's recovered, and he should get the third. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with the penalties. But it looks like he's got enough distance between him and Mike, who's up there in 4th. But what a race it's been tonight. Couldn't have predicted this happening at all. And the rain had really brought it out, and entertainment value as well. Oh, Zen. The drift as well, just for show. And Zen takes the checkered. It still says he's third. Let's see what happens when Mike crosses the line, if that changes at all. So Mike has managed to stay ahead of Kiwi here on the last lap. Mike's had a good comeback too. There it is, Mike in 4th. Kiwi in 5th. So yeah, the penalties haven't changed anything for Zen. He's been lucky. Bushchook, though, has had a few good overtakes tonight, which has made the difference for him, and that's why he's up there in 6th. And he'll score some good points for himself and Williams, which are in desperate need of more constructor points. So well done to Bushchook, 92 tonight. Should also take note of the fastest lap. Zen Razo, fastest lap tonight. So he will get that extra point as well. That's well, it's what he's going to need. And there's your stop count as well. 3 stops for the leader, 2 for Hawks and Zen. But it was that extra stop that BP did that I think made the difference. But what a race it was. We're going to have interviews straight after the podium, so hang around for that. And yes, what a race.
Well, that was fun, fellas. What a race.
I am sweating more than Singapore.
I had an absolute atrocious race. Absolutely atrocious.
What
With all that carnage that went into race turn 1, I got a flat tyre, I had to do a lap with no left rear, kept spinning out, went a lap down, and then it just went downhill from there.
Yes.
It was like masturbating with a cheese grater. Slightly amusing, but mostly painful.
That was probably my best drive so far in this league. And those fucking conditions anyway.
Trying to figure out what part of that is slightly amusing.
3 stops, far out.
10 seconds, huge.
Yeah, 9 seconds, I was right.
Hold on. I got disqualified, I got that many penalties. I got so many of those penalties behind fucking middle, I couldn't see shit. I would have to tally my penalties. I got 3 seconds that many times.
I couldn't. Especially the apex after the longest hand, I couldn't see that. I didn't know when to turn.
And the one on the crest in the 3rd sector, driving in cockpit view, it's really hard to see that one, man.
Yeah, I could not see half the apexes in cockpit. Literally, I could not see, like, they were just glass.
That was my problem,
Can anyone
man.
explain what happened down the run down to turn 2 on the fucking start, please?
I don't know.
All I know is I got flat left, right, centre. I was a full G. I know I was in the concrete. Cars. I broke.
We will have interviews, but keep listening into the drivers as they talk about what's happening.
Fuck.
Alright, so go on to Discord.
Yeah,
we're going to Discord.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to us, man, because I went down into turn 1. I think Ming was in front of me. Like, I went a little later on the brakes than him, and like, love kissed him, but didn't get a contact warning, didn't get like any damage, and someone just fucking completely whooshked me into him.
I got sandwiched between 2 cars. I was exactly like Giovinazzi because I got slammed. I had a shock start off the line. I did it then.
Yeah.
Exhausted. Who was it that hit?
Yeah, man. BP, you stole it on the last lap, bro. That extra pit stop you made for the Inters was that
the gamble paid off. I was not that I was getting balked. It was so tricky, but I felt like I could go quicker if I was on my own. And I thought, bugger this, I want to try and get an undercut because I thought they were going to do the same. And in the end, I was probably lucky they didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it got wet, you followed Zen in, and you needed a new front wing as well, man. You had a lot of pace with a broken front wing, and unbelievable.
I didn't have a broken front wing till literally till just before my second stop. I had a dive at Zen. I made contact around sector 2. No damage there. Followed him around because he got back ahead, just to avoid the drama. But then I braked to my regular braking mark at the end of the back straight and ran into the side of him. That's where I broke the wing, but I came in that lap anyway. And my pit crew, I don't know what happened, but the first stop took 5 seconds longer than what it should have, so I lost a lot of margin.
Yeah, you did.
But as my name suggests, I had a lot of wing on.
Yeah, you are the man with the too much wing. It obviously worked out with the wet stuff.
I can say the wing. I put 8 on the rear instead of 6, which was planned for me in the race. Initially, before it saw wet, then I upped the front wing, just each stop really.
Well, it all paid off.
I'm sweating more than Singapore, to be honest. That was more exhausting.
I am not surprised, man. That was too much from start to finish. There was a lot going on.
Oh, it was tricky. I knew it, yeah.
Well, as long as you enjoyed it and you got a win out of it, man. So.
Oh, it was great. Yeah,
Great
the gamble
stuff.
paid off, so I'm happy about that.
Oh yeah. And Hawksy, man, you gave me a sound glitch as well tonight, but from being disqualified to working your way to second, you're the king of the comebacks.
Oh no, we've got to stop making that habit, don't I? Really?
Hey, it's working for you, man.
I sense another driver of the day coming.
Nah, mate. Nah, it's just a bit of a pain getting disqualified, and then obviously opening up, there's a few incidents in front, so could sort of be alright, clear. But yeah, I saw the guys up front; they were just gone, and I was thinking, how am I going to get back into this? And then the rain opened up, and I don't mind a bit of rain. I always feel like I'm pretty handy in the rain, and then caught the gap up, and then I caught them obviously Zen and BP, and I got pinged a lot behind them. Like my penalties were just going through the roof. I ended up with like 22 seconds, so I've got to have a look at that. But just avoidance, really. I think there's a couple of times I just tried to avoid hitting Zen more than anything, and I just got pinged on the game. But me and the game weren't cooperating tonight. But yeah, good race. I enjoyed it, despite getting done on the last lap by BP. But he done the right strategy. I was in two minds what to do.
Yeah. I was glad the rain just started. It's literally the lap I came in, it started to really let off.
Did you know, Hawks, that BP had the inters on?
Well, he sort of disappeared. I saw him sort of nice on the map. I was like, weird, because he was obviously with us in the trio, and then he sort of disappeared, and I was just wondering if he got damage or what he was doing, and he chucked the inters on. Because it did say, like, it's sort of predicted to lighten up, and I probably should have taken more notice because obviously the rain came a lot sooner than we anticipated.
Yep.
So, therefore, I should have assumed that the weather was going to be forecasted a bit sooner. So, yeah, a bit of a bad strategy call on my part. Probably time to season eight. Initially, it'd be all right. I won't lose 20-odd seconds, in 5 or 6 laps. Just drifting around turn 3. I'm pretty much sure I drifted the whole thing one point. Just trying to keep it on the track. It's a bit crazy.
But those conditions, they were horrible. Like, I race in cockpit view, and when I was behind Zen and Hawks, let alone the spray, I could not see the apex to any turns. It was all just glass to me.
So
I'm surprised I didn't get more. I'm surprised I didn't get more pens.
So that was the reason a lot of you were running wide, because it was just. I thought maybe it was just too wet, but sounds like it's just visibility. Running
wide, I just simply couldn't make the turns.
Yeah, you're just turning the aquaplane.
If I was going, yeah, it was. I'm lucky I didn't get pinned for a lot of that too on the outside, like going around. But just I couldn't pull it up most of the time. It was, yeah.
It was almost every other lap your braking markers were changing. It was a bit crazy, yeah.
I said on the start of the stream, left a comment saying, "Bring on the rain." It certainly brought it.
You did, and I wasn't expecting it, but then all of a sudden the clouds came over and the rain was falling, and we had a race on our hands.
Yeah. Not sure where Zen is. I do apologise. I wasn't trying to make a move when I contact. I just braked where I normally do, and just ran out of road.
It's all right.
Not sure where he is, but yeah, I do apologise for that. But yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, Zen's not here, but congratulations to you two, and what a race.
Thank you. I look forward to watching the carnage on stream.
It is entertaining. It is entertaining, so thanks.
No worries, thank you.
All right, well, I think that's going to end that there tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if they're still talking in the main chat.
He didn't drop out during the race, just during quali.
Where'd Zen go? Where'd Zen go?
Yeah, where did Zen go? We don't know.
Did he finish on the podium? Isn't he in the...
He finished on the podium and he wasn't there on Discord.
Oh.
Alright, well,
He's gone.
I think Zen might be a little bit upset.
Gonski. Mike's gone too.
His wife must have...
I don't know that for a fact. I'm just making things up. But thank you very much to everyone that has joined us tonight. New followers as well, the new subscribers, and everyone who's liked the stream. Appreciate your support here tonight. And thanks again, FNL1, for having me. They put on a great show. That was the Russia Grand Prix. The next Formula One stream is Japan on October the 18th. So you've got a couple of weeks till then. But on Monday, we will have the SFR GT Challenge, so I'll see you guys then. Don't forget to keep an eye out on Twitter at Demo1G for the stream alerts, or on Facebook for the stream alerts at Demo1 Garage. And you can catch the streams in 1080p on Twitch and YouTube, and 720p on Facebook every time we go live. So thanks once again. My name is Josh. This is Demo1 Garage. Race hard and on the edge. Have a great night, and we'll see you then.